Well, hello. I school just ended. I had my last day, corrected everything. Everything's done. Other than I'm going back the next couple of days to do yearbook stuff, but that's another story. And so I got home and I thought, mow the lawn. Although you can't tell, but it's raining out there. We're doing live stream. So I don't know why a live stream struck me, but we're doing a live stream. I don't even know who's going to be listening this time of day. Looking at my number of viewers, I see I have one. So hi there, viewer. So what I'm going to talk about is folding letters. And I'll tell you why. Of course, the other thing that goes with the end of the year is seniors are leaving. So every senior that gives me an announcement, I write a personal letter to them. I fold it up all purty, and then I give them a link to all the photographs I've taken of them over the years. So that's, I don't know how exciting letter folding is, but that's what I'm going to do with this live stream on. So let's take a look at it. So the paper I'm going to use is whatever was laying on my coffee table. So whatever this is, it's ordinary paper. It's nothing special. So let's take a look at it. So I'm going to have to adjust angles and stuff. You don't get me. Oh, we don't want to do that. Excuse me. And my allergies are playing up, so I don't get to edit that out either. But anyway, what you're going to see here. Hey, Miss Marilyn Darling is here. And just noticed I'm upside down. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you how to fold letters. So I'm going to start simple. Don't worry, autofocus will figure this out. I'm going to turn off the light though, because that's horrible. So I'm going to just put some text on here. Bonus points if you can figure out what show this is from. And the reason I'm putting the text on is then you can see what side everything is going on. So bonus, like I said, if you can figure out what TV show this is from. And I'm going a little crazy because my desk is covered with slats. So actually trying to write at my desk with nothing under the paper is crazy making. Okay, like I said, allergies are making me crazy. So first thing I'm going to show you is just the basic. So let's just say I'm writing an ordinary letter. You know, today is May. You would think I'd know what date today is. How's the 26th grab you? May 26, 2021. So your ordinary fold, if you're just putting it into a letter, is simple. We all know this one. You fold it in thirds. So we fold the bottom third up. And we fold the other third this way. And then it makes a nice fancy package that you can put in. And Paul Herman gets the bonus points. Yes. And whenever I write that, I'm picturing it in Mrs. Slocum's voice. So I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so when you're doing an ordinary business fold for a letter, you just do this. You put that way they know who it's from or who it's for right away. And I'll tell you why that's important. So doing yearbook orders, and the co-advisor, I'm doing the financial side of it. The co-advisor gave me a whole stack of orders, and I'm going through them. I realized that, whoops, one of them is a personal letter meant for her, not for me. Because as soon as I open it, it says, Dear Mrs. and her name. Oh, so I read no further and gave it back to her, and it looked really awkward because I'd opened her mail, but whatever. She handed it to me. So that's your more traditional fold. But like I said, I'm doing this for the seniors, so I like to do something a little fancier. So I've got more of whatever paper this is here. So I first learned this one from, I think his name was Pel Haley. He was a YouTuber several years ago. He had some very interesting videos, and but then he just kind of disappeared and took his videos with him. So I don't know what happened to him. But anyway, I'm not going to write the whole thing, but we'll just write that this is the front of the letter. And we'll put a signature down here. And I just ran into one of the slats again. So Yeah, again. So Pelhale called this an epistolary fold. So your goal is to have the writing inside of it. So I'm going to fold it so that the writing is inside. So I'm just folding it in half. The other thing I can do with a normal desk is I can nicely crease, which will be a bit of a challenge here. So what I do is I fold one side kind of like this. So I'm bringing a corner up to the fold. In fact, let me just take a pencil here and sketch in the fold so you can see where that fold is. So I'm bringing, the lighting is still not very good on that. There. So I'm bringing one corner up to there. Then I'm going to bring the other corner to the same spot, to that same middle fold. So you've got whatever that shape is. But now I'm going to come over to this side. I'm going to fold so that this corner of the diagonal meets this fold. I'm going to crease it like that. Oh, this still seems way too bright. The nice thing with this, I just realized I was pressing the wrong button. The nice thing with this camera is I can turn the exposure down. So yeah, Marilyn Darling is right. Oh, still way too much light. Let's try it with just natural light. Oh, that's dark. Now let's try a desk lamp. Yipe. Let's take the desk lamp down a few notches. All right, so my lighting situation is horrible. There. How's that? So it's kind of backlighting. I've never done this kind of video before, so this is all new to me. So anyway, what I did is I took this side and folded it over. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Thank you for the feedback. I'm folding the diagonal over. So I may have to come back and do a more professionally recorded version of this now. So now I have a odd looking little thing. So now I'm going to take this corner, and you can do this with either corner, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to fold it over underneath this other flap. And so you have a pointed end. And the same thing here. I'm going to fold this over. And this end will actually tuck under this little flap. And if you want, you could call that good. One side you can put an address, and the other side you can put probably nothing. But excuse me. So like I said, allergies, and I'm not editing this. Now, I didn't do that. The reason I didn't is, honestly, this didn't fit quite into my envelopes. But the other thing that Pelhale always did is he folded it right like that. It naturally wants to. And then it slips nicely into the envelope. When you open the envelope, you can just grab a point. Also, like I said, I give them a card with all their pictures on it. Well, the URL for it. So I can fit it in there. So it comes out with it. And I was smart this year for the first time in 21 years of teaching. Hey, what if I put the card on colored paper? So this is the epistolary fold. And I am off screen here celebrating with a little bit of adult beverage, because I don't have to get up and go to school tomorrow. So for purposes of making a thumbnail later, this is the epistolary fold. At least that's what he called it. And it took me a little luckily I had muscle memory because, like I said, his video is gone, but I was able to figure it out eventually. Now, let's just say you want to be a little fancier. I'm saving the fanciest one for last. Well, not everybody knows this, but not only am I a science teacher, I'm also sort of computer science, and I can teach math. I'm just going to dial this brightness down, see if this helps. Weef. Okay, I can't dial that one down enough to compensate. So I'm actually also certified as a math teacher. So shapes and things really get to me. Welcome there, Sir Knight, and Mike Wagner. And Bishop's Hatfold. You know what? I do kind of see that. I'm not Catholic or anything, but yeah. And Sailcat is here. And speaking of Are You Being Served, which I don't know if you were here at the beginning, there's several scenes in Are You Being Served about folding handkerchiefs and fluting them and so on. So I'm sorry, that's where my mind is. So my next fold I'm going to call a hexagon fold. So again, this is where the front of the letter is. We'll put my signature down here. And we'll just have some text here. And like I was saying, I hate writing on this desk because of the slats. Alrighty. So this next one is a hexagon fold. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold it in half. And I like to crease very thoroughly. Harikash Savikumar. Hey, welcome. You go by Harry. Okay. Glad to have you. I am live streaming. I just randomly decided to do this because it's the last day of school. And I'm showing how to do some fancy folds on letters. So then I'm going to bring up the bottom side to this crease in the middle. The crease in the middle isn't super important, so I'm not going to draw in it. There we go. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just an idea just hit me. We'll see. The camera itself actually comes with a light. You know, for pens and things, usually I need more light, but for this paper, just the auto exposure on this. All right, so I've folded kind of like a book. Now, what I'm going to do next is a little odd, but here's the bottom corner. I'm going to fold from this corner and have this corner meet up with the crease in the middle. So a little bit of finagling to get it right. But there we go. We'll give it a nice crease. So I've folded up from this corner is going to the crease, and we folded from the other corner of the page. Pale blue dot. No, this is actually Waterman's Harmonious Green in a Sailor President. I'm just so you see some text, so you know where the letter goes in reference to my folds. So now I'm going to open out this far side. This little flapper doodle doesn't really matter, other than I wouldn't cut it off because it would look weird. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw. Normally I wouldn't, but I want you to see it. There's a fold right here that was made. And I'm going to fold along that and basically have this other crease here meet up at the top of this diagonal piece I made just a minute ago. And normally I wouldn't turn it around like this, but like flat spots on this weird desk are a bit of a problem. So now we have kind of a pointy end. So what am I going to do next? Well, I'm going to fold this side back in. We'll close the door back up. And then along the edge here, I'm going to fold forward. ODE, don't worry about having terrible folding skills. I'm kind of impatient with this stuff, and I can handle them. So I know you can. So I'm just folding. I'm not actually going to do anything with that except use it as an indicator, because I'm going to fold this whole top from this corner of that fold I just made, so it lines up with that fold that I just made. Okay, and now one of my earlier folds is right here. I'm going to fold along that. By the way, I usually do fountain pens on this channel, but I like wood pencils too. So this is a Mitsubishi 9850. So apparently Mitsubishi doesn't just make cars, they make pencils. Who knew? And then it's not quite a hexagon yet. So I am going to take this flap and I'm going to fold it this way and just tuck it in here. Now, if you do this with A4 sized paper, it doesn't tuck as neatly. I ended up having to tuck it here. All my letters that I wrote to the seniors were written on A4 paper. It was Tomoe River paper. And, the ink looked good. I was using Girbon, whatever the orange one is that has the sparkles. And then I found out this doesn't fit in the envelope. So, doggone that whole hexagon thing I messed with. So I had to fold it in half again, and then it fit in my envelopes. But since we're demonstrating, I can just leave this open the way it's meant to be. And I will call this the hexagon fold. All right, now this next one is going there. That's it. Thank you, Miss Marilyn, darling. Yes, I wrote all my letters with Cornaline d'Egypte. The only problem was the very last kid has it very faded toward the end because it ran empty. Yes, Matt Coward Gibbs, you were right. The pen ran empty, so I was like shaking it just to get enough ink into the nib to finish the letter. So his is going to look a little awkward, but somehow I had just the perfect amount of ink for the seniors that gave me cards. All right, so this last one, Tomoe River paper, is actually kind of a miserable paper to do this last one on. It's just too flimsy. I mean, it looks good if you're really careful, but a little heavier paper, like whatever the heck this is going to be a lot more forgiving. Yeah, it was not a good writing experience. I made it though. Otherwise, that last kid might have been stuck with a letter in Parker Quink washable blue, and I like it, but everybody else gets sparkles and I didn't. All right, so this next fold is a very decorative fold. This one takes more time, so I didn't do every letter with this. Some years I do when I start them early enough, but this year I didn't because I saved the folding till this morning. Letters were written, just I didn't fold them. So what I'm doing is I brought up the corner of the paper like this, and then I'm just folding from one corner to wherever. Make sure it's creased nicely because I'm going to much later on, I'm going to reverse fold this. Sail Cat. Yes, that is an interesting video. In fact, I used it this winter about the hexaflexagons. I used this winter in my STEM class as sort of a filler when we had like 1 or 2 extra days before holiday break, and I wasn't quite ready. we'd finished what we were working on. I needed something just to fill a little more time. Yeah, I think the vintage is a little different. Oh, you're going to rehydrate. Okay, good luck. I've rehydrated cartridges, never bottles. So now I'm folding this bottom corner up, and since I'm writing on this, oh, I never showed you where the front is. So this is what you get when it's not edited video. So this is the letter. Sorry, I totally forgot. Here's my opening, my letter, and my signature. I was going to do like the openings to famous letters for each of these, but then all that came out was Dear Sexy Knickers in the first one. So, and I will not be sending that to a senior because yipe. So anyway, so I'm going to bring this bottom corner up to meet up with the top edge that I've already folded up. So just along the edge there. And so you can see it makes kind of a diagonal here. Whoops. So now I'm going to open all that up, and I am annoyed when the signature, especially with Tomoe River paper, when the signature or part of the letter ends up in this box down here in the corner. Let me just trace out the box for you. It has this crease down the middle now. Especially with Tomoe River paper, what happens is it's very easy to smear this ink. Yeah, you guys do talk in class, but I can ignore you if I want. I just look away from my screen and nobody's talking. All right, so what I'm going to do here, this is going to be a little slow for video. If this was an edited video, I'd fast forward it. Is I'm bringing up this corner of the box to where the edge of the square is. So I'm basically folding it in half diagonally. And again, you'll probably want to crease this one. This one's is especially important because you're going to be reversing some of these folds. So now I have a fold right here. And we're going to make a leaf. So let me show you how to make a leaf. I'm going to take this top corner down and meet up with that fold. I should have brought, what do I have that I could put here? Nothing. I'm going to walk off screen for a minute and go steal a book because this is making me crazy if I have to keep turning it every time I want to crease. So I've got a great big book just off screen. So you all talk amongst yourselves for a second. Okay, I'm back. So yes, I do need a desk pad. Talks from the Heart did give me a piece of felt that I've been using for my videos, but it's not quite the same. So I am going to use Understanding the World, the Atlas of Infographics, which, by the way, is an interesting book with all kinds of different, just pieces of information on everything from octopi to outer space junk. And I'm like, seriously, this is a page on outer space junk. And corporate sector labor costs in euros per working hour. It's just got everything in it. It's a very interesting book just to page through when you're bored. Or even if you're not bored, it's just a very interesting book to page through. So what I just did, for those of you who are paying attention, what Talks from the Heart gave me was just a piece of felt. It's literally plain, ordinary felt. But it makes a nice backdrop, especially now that I have the scratch. But yeah, I think something better, because these slats are I can't write on them unless I'm in a notebook. Apparently I can't fold on them. They're just a pain. Ooh, glass would be nice. Ooh, I like that idea. Yeah, I've seen a few people use cutting mats. My nearest Hobby Lobby is 180 miles away, but, you know, I'm sure I can find something equivalent a little closer. You know, that's just part of the joy of living. I don't live at the edge of the earth, but you can definitely see it from here. Or, yeah, Amazon. Walmart, the closest one of those is only 90 miles away, so that might be a closer option. So I just folded that in half. Now I'm going to take this part and fold that in half. And crease it very nicely. So I've got another fold here. Now it's getting darker outside and I'm having trouble seeing. Oh, lives north of Santa Claus. Okay. I thought Santa Claus lived as far north as you get. All right. Of course, that moves. The North Pole actually moves because it's not on land. It's on floating ice. So then I folded that in half. You see a theme here? And I'm going to fold this little chunky wonky in half again. Did I just call it a chunky wonky? I may have just... Well, I didn't wait till the first one was empty, but I may have just started my second glass of adult beverage. So this is really just for completeness. But now what I'm going to do is each of these sections I'm going to fold in half and in half again. And eventually they're all going to be the same width if I'm really good at doing this, which I'm not always. So now I'm going to fold it so this little line meets up with this little line. Oh, welcome from West Virginia. I'm just showing... I write personal letters to all my seniors that give me a card, and it's just showing some of the decorative folds I did. So you've just come in for the most elaborate one. So now I'm just going to meet those two lines up, and I'm lining up with the center. In fact, I feel like I should mark the center of this point there, which I wouldn't do. Yeah, that second one is fun. Kanjiro5575, welcome. Glad to have you. So I've just made a new fold here. I'm going to keep doing that. So now I'm going to fold it so that this fold meets up with this fold. So I'm folding this section right here in half. And with limited light I have, this is very hard to see. Roderick Fem, welcome. Yeah, this is kind of like letter locking. I just learned that term today because I was trying to remember how to do the epistolary fold and I wasn't finding it. And I ran into that website, a couple websites on letter locking. So yeah, I'm basically making my own envelope out of the letter. So then I can mark there, which I wouldn't do, but for visuals. So I'm now folding the first half in half. Now I'm going to fold the second half of this in half. Okay. So I've got a lot of folds here, but I'm not done because now I'm going to take the big Chumbawamba section. Hello, Friedrich. I'm folding letters, showing how you can do some decorative folds. So far, for those who just joined in, I've demonstrated a hexagon fold. I've demonstrated an epistolary fold. And I did talk about the traditional type of fold. And this last one is a very decorative, I'm going to call it a leaf fold, because it will make sense when I get it done. So to fold this Chumbawamba section in half, I'm going to take this fold and meet it up with this fold. And there we go. And it's dark because as Miss Marilyn Darling and I discovered, I really had to dial down the exposure. Sajjad Hussein, welcome. Yeah, I'm just doing some folding, if you're into math at all, you may be a little into origami. So this is sort of origami, just not, very high level origami. So now I'm folding each half of the half I just made in half. And now I'm going to fold the upper piece of that in half. And I'm basically going to fold all of these pieces in half. It's very repetitive. And I've discovered that the creasing is important. Like, make sure it's a good, nice fold, because half of these are going to be reverse folded. There we go. And I've got the only part I have left to fold is the bottom half of the Chumbawamba section. So yeah, Sajad, this was totally impromptu. I wasn't planning on doing this, and then walking home, I just thought, last day of school, I could relax and sit on the couch and read a book. I could mow the lawn, or I could live stream a video about folding letters. So weirdly enough, this is what I picked. And if you screw this up a little, it's okay. I'm trying to be relatively careful because it's going to live on in posterity in video form, but it's somewhat forgiving. If you screw it up too much, it won't work. Thank you, Robin. Yes, this has been a weird one, and hopefully the next pandemic happens after I'm retired and preferably after I'm dead, because I do not ever want to deal with this kind of stuff again. And we, here in North Dakota, we had it relatively easy compared to some places. So, yeah. All right, last fold, thank God. All right. So if you probably can't see this, but I'll just do this so you can sort of get a close-up. There's a total of 16 individual folds here. So now I'm going to reverse fold the first one, and then fold the next one back. The next one's going to go forward, back. This is why you want to crease it well. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, and back. So if part of your letter wound up in that corner of the page, it's going to be on the inside of your leaf. Just saying that. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely celebration day. I am celebrating. Vix Clark. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, I had mine done a few weeks ago. That was pretty good time. Especially when the 2 weeks passed and I am free. And now the CDC says I'm free. Dean Martin, book suggestion, the Elric Saga by I've heard the name. So I will have to check that out, especially if my view of everything will never be the same. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to flip this paper over. Oh my God. I folded how many of these this morning and did it right? Guess who just screwed up? This should have been on the other side. And no, I am not going to start over. If this was a pre-recorded video, I probably would, and you'd never know I screwed that up so bad. But yeah, this should have been laying like this when I did all my folds. So that's the problem with doing it live. Oh well. So now I'm just going to, there's a line made by my previous folding right here, and I am just going to reverse fold it. The leaf is a little bit of a bugger because it's a chunky monkey and it doesn't want to fold that well. This part's actually a little easier with the Tomaway River paper. And right here is why you want the writing on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to fold. There's a crease here, so I'm going to fold up along that. And there's the leaf. But we're not done yet. I'm going to fold my two corners of this top flapperdoodle in. I'm calling it a flapperdoodle. Like that. And then I'm going to take this point that's opposite the leaf, and I'm going to fold it over to right here. And it will line up. See, this is why, like I said, I should have the paper flipped upside down, but I'm talking instead of paying attention to what I'm doing. But it kind of lines up along the flap that the leaf is on. And then somewhere, it doesn't really matter exactly where, just somewhere that makes you happy. We'll fold it here. If you do this with A4 paper, which is what I was doing this morning, this piece will be a little skinnier. But you do the same thing with it. You fold it up and you tuck. And you'll have more to tuck on the A4 paper, but it works with this too, just not quite as nice. And again, since I was giving them all a card with their picture, a link to their pictures, that just tucked nicely in here. So this is the leaf fold. So to review, my latest one was the leaf fold. I did an epistolary fold, which the idea came from Pel Halle, who's no longer in YouTube and has taken all of his videos down. I did a hexagon fold, and I actually started with a reference to Are You Being Served? With a traditional letter fold. Now, we got to put them in something. So I'll tell you what I put all these in. I had little envelopes, which are in the kitchen. But I had little envelopes that I put them in, just regular ones. Oh, it's raining more outside. Good, because we need it. I'm going to do something a little more exciting. So I'm going to set this aside for the moment. I think I'm going to need it again. And I'm going to show you a template that I have. So this often seems like a lot of work, and I honestly did, like I said, did not do it with any of the seniors, but this is going to make a Japanese style envelope. I purchased it from Jet Pens, and they also have a Western style envelope. So, if I want, say, this hexagon fold one to fit, it's not going to fit in this envelope. It's not going to fit in this envelope. But see, this template, I have several different sizes I can use. So I'm going to pick something mediocre. Maybe I'll do the outside of this inside. I just made one for a letter where I'd use the very outside, but we'll use this part. So you need paper to put that on. So I purchased wrapping paper. So what I need is a clear piece of wrapping paper. And I usually do this without a camera in the way. So there we go. Sort of clear piece of wrapping paper. Let's be a little more frugal and go closer to the edge. Living on the edge. I like music. So I'm just going to trace. I probably should have kept the book under this because every time I run into a slat, I'm getting annoyed. The seniors did their big walkthrough of the school today. For those who don't know, we are a K-12 building. So everybody is in the same building, which was not true when these seniors were in elementary school. I forgot a part. Doggone it. And I decided it would make a cute yearbook picture to go up and get like the first graders and kindergartners high-fiving the seniors as they walk by, which is a long hike up the hill to what's called Roosevelt, which is the name for the K-3 section of the building. And so on the way up, I'm passing the sixth graders, and one of the sixth grade teachers is chewing out this kid, and she turns to me and, "Isn't that right, Mr. Squirrel?" I'm like, what? But, I figured she was saying something to him. And, since he's a sixth grader, he's going to be in high school next year, that you can't act like that. So I just said, yeah, you're right. And I hope I agreed to something I want to agree to. All right. So now I'm just cutting along these edges that I just traced. And I'm going to be a little sloppy because I'm sort of hurrying here. So this senior class has shrunk a bit, just people moving away. I'm not sure, people come and go for different reasons. And of course, on a video, I can't get into why, but, it just kind of interesting. When I had this group, there were two sections of seniors, they were freshmen then, that filled my classroom, almost every seat. And they wouldn't, if I had them all right now, they wouldn't do that anymore. 30, I think we're just over 30 seniors this year, which is bigger than last year's class. Last year was the smallest ever senior class, unless you go back to like the teens. And when I say teens, I mean 19 teens, when this town was first being settled. So probably I should have cut this off the roll, and I would have thought of that if I was doing this in real life, but I'm here on video. And you're probably hearing all kinds of paper crinkling noises. There we go. Oh, that is a good idea, and especially an atlas definitely gets very, they get out of date. Like, the countries that were in Africa when I was a kid have totally changed since then. All right. So now I'm almost done. So obviously this is the outside, unless you want to be fun and have this be the inside. So I'm going to fold from here to here. Fold that in. I'm going to try to do it neatly. Or as neatly as I get. And then I'm going to fold from here to here. And again, I will try to do it neatly. Ooh, that would be kind of fun. Wallpaper. Part of me, I always like, oh, but it's a book. You can't destroy books. But at the same time, yeah, you can. Like, one of the big jobs of a librarian is to manage the collection and decide what to keep and what to get rid of. Now, I don't know if it really matters which flap you put on top, but I think it looks more symmetrical if I put the smaller flap on top. And then if I had proper glue over here, I would, I could use a little bit of glue to do that, but I've actually been using tape. So I've got tape here. Oh, with a little paper in it. So let's just throw that first little piece of tape away and try again. Okay, and you could tape the whole thing, whatever makes you happy. I want enough that the letter that's inside it doesn't fall out, because that's always awkward. And you don't want it catching on the mail sorting machines, especially if you're using this wrapping paper. It's very flimsy. Maybe even isn't the best material to send through the mail without an outer envelope. But anyway, then I can fold up this bottom piece. How do I know it's the bottom? Because it's wider, or it's not as wide as this top piece. So I will fold up this bottom piece and tape it. And again, glue would be fine. I just don't have any suitable glue here at home. So, and I don't do this very often because you can see how long it takes to do this. But 27 people are still watching me fold an envelope, so I guess that's something. And then I'll fold this piece down. Now, I don't know if you've ever gotten those envelopes. Some people just tape the heck out of their envelope, and then you really can't open it up without destroying it. So I want to find a happy place. So maybe tape the flap down, but let them be able to insert a letter opener or a knife here and here. Except there's no letter in it, which might be nice. So, this kind of fold may get you extra postal charges because it's thick, not because of weight, but it will fit. The leaf will end up a little smashed in the mail. So if you're mailing it, probably not this one. Well, thank you. I don't know how funny I am, but I try. This fold will behave itself in the envelope. The traditional fold, well, we need to go to the next size up. And where'd my hexagon fold go? Oh, fell on the floor. Awkward. The hexagon does not fit. So like I was saying, I ended up folding the hexagons in half to fit in the envelopes I was using because I cheated and used regular envelopes. Oh, okay. So you use a program to cut the envelopes. Yeah, I just have scissors, so I don't have anything really to cut them with. So I'm not going to put anything in this, but, I would, like I said, I would tape along here, and then we're good. And this is a Japanese style. You can purchase a US style envelope maker template thingy at Jet Pens also. For some reason, I felt this need to buy the Japanese style. Don't know why, but that's what I did. And then on this side, we can put our address. We have a small problem, and this is the drawback to this. I could write on here. It may be dark enough to read, but the pattern could also disrupt the mail reading machine thingies. So one suggestion would be get those, what are they called? Address labels. And then you can tape them on here, and then you can have your address and so on and your stamp, and you're good. And you've got a decorative envelope, which, wrapping paper is kind of designed for tearing. So maybe not the best paper for putting in an envelope. I don't know. But anyway, that was my little talk on, what was I talking about? Letter folding and making an envelope and so on. I don't do this very often. I did not do it for the seniors. I did the folding for the seniors, just not the decorative envelopes. And yeah, I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. Oh, the epistolary fold. Is that the one you mean, Miss Marilyn Darling? Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think the address labels would be a important thing to put on here. Because if you have to read, do I have a Sharpie over here or something? I do not. All I've got is the Senator. So I'll just demonstrate here. I always print my addresses, by the way. So hopefully that's not your real address, because then I'll feel bad. But yeah, so like this is very hard to read. I've got Miss Marilyn Darling, 407 Squirrel Drive, Podunkville, North Dakota, 55555. Yeah, the tucking one's definitely the easiest. So this is hard to read even as a person, like the S and the Q are hard to read. the D in Darling. So yeah, if you do this, I suggest using address labels. So that's a good point. Sharpie would make it easier, but yeah, overall, just put on some address labels. Our postal people need all the help they can get right now. Alrighty. So let me, I was going to do a pen review today. I didn't, well, it's in the kitchen to be cleaned anyway. I didn't end up doing it. I filmed it. I just, like I said, this whole, hey, let's do a live stream instead sounded good. So I'll just show you a couple of coming attractions, and then I'll flip back to my face. So one of my coming attractions here is a Waterman's. I am suddenly drawing a blank with, oh, and now I need the light. When I had the white paper, it made the exposure all crazy. But now that I'm doing pens, suddenly I need the light again. So this is just a plain, ordinary metal pen, but it's a Waterman pen from the 90s, apparently. Nothing too special, but I'm kind of excited about it. On a similar, where is it? There it is. It's hiding. A similar vein. This is also a Waterman. Vintage, again from the 90s. I don't know if you would call them vintage. It's not an expensive pen. It's just a cheap plastic pen, but it looked cool. It's got, fruit or something and a starfish on it. Yeah, one of them is a Forum, and I don't remember what the other one is. And this one I always want to screw back on because it has threads here, but I think oh, you can't see the threads. I think the threads are actually what the cap grips when it snaps on. Let's see, what other... Oh, since ODE is here, we did a little trade. You've seen the Fermo that I traded to him. He traded... This is one of the two Yep, Reflex. That was the other one. Thank you. This is one of the pens he traded to me for the Pilot Fermo. This is a Senator. He's actually shown it on his channel already. That looks an awful lot like a Parker 51. So that stealing the Parker 51 idea is not a new phenomenon. So it got sent in a Lamy box for safekeeping, I would guess. This is the other one he sent to me. Oops. I think it's in its original box. This is a Lamy, I want to say 25P, but suddenly I'm drawing a blank. But just a very nice Lamy pen. And I already figured out a converter that fits in it. This is a... Oh, Waterman converter. I may pull that one out and try a different converter because I have two Waterman pens here that need converters. But very nice looking pen, I think. And then a couple of my recent purchases. I've got in this unassuming gray box. This is a quill fountain pen with a quill clip. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the pen's a plain steel nib and everything, but I don't know. It just struck me when I saw it for sale. I'm like, yeah, I want to try that. Plus, it was cheap. And then I've got another president to join my... Oh, there we go. Another president to join my collection of politicians. Nothing amazing looking. Had a god-awful amount of ink in it, though. It took forever to clean out. And, aerometric convert. Well, aerometric, it's not a converter. It's built in. So, nothing too special, but I like it. And then a couple others coming here. We'll just pull out the highlights because I have way more pens here than I need. This is a nice Geha Champion. I like the Geha's lower cost pen, so I think I'm going to like this one. My other Geha here, I had a Geha that I picked up from Proto Pens. No, that's not a Geha. Maybe it's over being cleaned. I've got a couple pens to review instead of first impression. This has appeared on my channel. It's a Marquant, I want to say Dokar. I may have that name wrong. Marquant. Oh, yeah, I do. Marquant 165. East German. Here's another East German pen. This is the Garant Dokar. This one, again, not very expensive. Steel nib. Come on, autofocus. I'm not as practiced with this camera. Yeah, good enough. But a super nice steel nib. This is a nice pen. Yeah, and here is the Garant. Oh, this is the Garant Dokar. Okay, wow, I am making a mess out of all these pen names. It's a good thing I write down what I'm reviewing before I start a video because I could make a fool of myself. So this is a Garant Alcor. So Garant Alcor, this is a Garant Dokar. Hey! Oh, how do I say that? Effects Tanoy. Glad to have you here. So again, another nice East German pen. And anything else interesting over here? Yeah. I've got a Wembley, which with a name like Wembley, I would have guessed Aphex Technoi. Okay. I would have guessed with a name like Wembley, it would be a British pen, but no, Argentine. Did not see that coming. So kind of a neat little pen. So that'll be a first impression. And oh, I need to pull this into the light because I can't see it. There it is. Yeah, this is the Geha I was thinking of. This is a Geha. The name has slipped my memory. But anyway, slim black pen with apparently one of the few Gehas with a screw cap. Very attractive. And of course, it's a piston name. Yeah, I agree. They definitely do have that sound. And anything else interesting over here? Oh, okay. Two more. I've got a few here, but I'm just pulling a couple interesting ones and babbling way too much. So I've got, what is this one? Oh, this is a Linz pen. I have two of these that I will be doing soon. The other one I've already filmed. This one I haven't. I just haven't published it yet. And this one, the other one was no great shakes. Oh, yeah, this one's got one of those Dawa Feta nibs. I don't know why I got so excited about that because it's not like they're that wonderful, but you know. And this one's got a nice story behind it. This is a Esterbrook transitional. I was given this pen. An old lady that I used to know when I first moved to North Dakota. I took care of her dog sometimes. Died, and her family cleaning out her house found some old pens, and this was one of them. And they remembered that I like pens, and so this was one that they gave to me. So yeah, it's an Esterbrook transitional pen. I don't know what. Oh, can't read that either. Yeah, it's got a nib in it. I just can't read what the nib is. Oh, I just got a phone call. I missed it. Oh well. And this last one is just kind of wild. I can't believe I haven't done a video on it. This is a Well Sharp, really tiny pen. Oops. I think it's kind of a pretty pink finish. And what? Yeah, it's got a glass nib. I have a restoration project that also has a glass nib, but it's a generic brand pen. And lever filler and all that. So I'm kind of curious to see how this one goes. No, not dip pen. This is a lever filler pen. So apparently, during the Second World War, when they had some metal shortages, a couple companies experimented with glass nibs. I have a glass nib somewhere that I, just use as a dip pen. So, oh, one more, and then I'll stop showing you pens. A few people asked me about the new Parker 51, and I just can't talk myself into it. Especially, what is it, $150 for the steel one and $300 for the gold nib one? No. So this is as close as I'm going to get. This is a Jinhao 85. And apparently, it's the same, at least I'm told it's the same as the Parker 51. Don't know that, but we'll just go with it. Made in Bohemia at the time. Except maybe not during the war, because I feel like during the Second World War, that may not have been like the greatest place to make glass nibs and get them shipped to the United States from. I could be wrong on that, of course, but I've got that feeling. So I'm going to start wrapping this up, but I'll flip this up to my face again. And I may be upside down for a second. I am upside down. How about that? See if I can make everybody seasick. Turn this light off because I don't need it. All right, so I hope everybody got, and I'm far enough away now, it's going to be harder for me to read the screen. See, I got to do this to read the screen. Oh, so the Parker is not as nice as the Jinhao. That is good to know. And yeah. See, before World War II, I can believe that, but there was kind of a mean little country right in the middle of Europe that was messing things up for everybody during the Second World War. That I don't think Bohemia was shipping out nibs during the war. But anyway, yeah, that area did have some nice pen makers. After the war, they all got squished together because of the whole communist thing. But yeah, it was. There were a lot of pen makers around Europe. It was wild, and now there's just so few. More than probably the United States, unless you count custom pen makers in the U.S. But yeah, not like it was. So I'm getting all sad. Yes, Esterbrook was a great pen maker that I enjoyed. They were low cost pens. They were made for normal people, and yet they had this wide, amazing variety of nibs available. One of the things I appreciated, they came out with the Esterbrook Esty. Whenever they came out with the Esterbrook Esty, I don't remember when that was, but they had they provided a section that you could put on it instead of the one that came with it, and then you could use the vintage Esterbrook nibs with a modern cartridge or converter, which I thought, hey, nice. Ironically, the Esterbrook Esty is one of the pens I plan to sell, but if you haven't noticed, in pens in use, it hasn't been in use. Okay, I may make a noise here. I'm going to move this computer closer so I don't have to keep leaning way over to read the screen. Holy cow, I've been going for an hour and 4 minutes talking. But yeah, the Esterbrook is a good pen. Somebody with a name written in Greek. I can make out some of the letters, but yeah, Greek isn't my deal. If I have a Parker Jotter, yeah, thank you. That's a good point. And I meant to make that, and then I didn't because I didn't think of it again. Oh, that's my camera gear that's normally sitting here. But yeah, you are right. The Parker Jotter, I have heard, has the exact same nib. I've been waiting for somebody to dissect a Parker 51 and find out for sure, but nobody seems to want to. And why? Because they're so flippin' expensive. So nobody has dissected it to find out for sure if it's a Parker Jotter nib. I do own a Parker Jotter. I will. Okay, honestly, if I like this Jinhao, I'm probably not going to dissect it. Yeah, I kind of guessed with a username like that you were from Greece. Okay. Yeah, see, I like Esther books, but I'm not really eager to collect them all. I don't know what do I collect? I guess Central European. Well, basically, I like the lesser known pens. I had really Slim Black pens, Rex pens, Toes Penkala, Central Pen. I've got some Polish and Bulgarian. Oh, yeah. Well, too late now, but I have a Bulgarian pen I'll be reviewing here soon. No, I have reviewed this one. Sorry. All right, I don't have a Bulgarian pen in the hopper. Let's see what else. So I'm gonna have to look down at my screen now. Yeah. So if anybody wants to take Aphex Technoid up on this offer, with what they cost, no, I'm not going to chop mine up, and I'm probably never going to own one. Let's see. Peter Katorchka, oh, welcome from Central Europe. ODE, yeah, I can see that. Different writing experience depending on what it's in. And then we have Aphex Technoi. Wow, I'm going to learn that eventually. Aurora Buenaseda. Well, thank you. I wasn't going to do this, and then walking home, I mean, literally walking home from school, I thought, oh, it's raining and I can't mow the lawn. I could lay on the couch and read a book, could put in a movie. No, I'm going to do a live stream about pens. So here I am. Robin Allen. Yeah, the envelope is kind of fun. This is the only wrapping paper I have, so I think especially in the winter this would be a nice one. But yeah, well, if you knew my last name, it is a lot of people don't get it right. In fact, the last principal never in all my years working there got it right. So it's one of these long Polish names. Yeah, most of the Eastern European pen manufacturers sadly are out of business, but at least big vintage pen is getting something out of it. I'm trying to think. There's one from East Germany that's still in business. They transformed themselves. Clio Scribent, I think, is what it's called. They transformed themselves, so they make basically not luxury pens like Mont Blanc or anything, but they make nicer pens, which I thought was kind of cool. Central Pen is still around. They even make a few fountain pens, but they're not at the end of the market as some of my favorite Central Pens. And Toes Penkala tried to make a go of it, but I guess they have given up. Yeah, I can't think of any others. Oh, Slovak. Sorry, you just reminded me somewhere. Okay, I bid on it, but I lost the bid. I ran into a pen maker from, pre-World War II, from the Slovak Republic. I don't know if they were called that back then or if they went by a different name. But anyway, because Czechoslovakia was formed from the Czech Republic and the Slovak Republic, and they're very different cultures. And after the communist thing ended, they said, okay, let's get a divorce. And it was an amicable divorce and everything. It wasn't like that disaster in Yugoslavia, but yeah, they're now separated. And ODE says the new jotters are better than the older. That is good to know. I think the jotter that I have is what they call new old stock. I think Parker just released a bunch of their old ones just like as a trial balloon to see, do we is there a market if we bring this pen back or not? So maybe I should try and pick up one of the new ones. I don't know. I see we got up to 37 subscribers now that this video's, or not subscribers, viewers now that this video's wrapping up. Yeah, that's what I heard, a peaceful separation. And, that's how it should be. And I think the Czech and Slovak republics were good neighbors before, and why not continue to be? But of course, the whole situation in the old Yugoslavia was more complicated. Religion played a role there, sad to say. Anyway, oh wow! So Ivalt Malinovsky came out as Paul Herman. That's complicated. Yeah, the Dialogue 3 does have a really nice nib. I sold my Dialogue 3 this winter. I just decided, I never ink it up. So that's one of my projects for this summer is all the pens that I never ink up. And I'm going to keep a couple. Like my Polish Inko is not that great of a pen, but I'm going to keep it just because it's my only Polish pen. But yeah, I'm going to be selling a bunch of pens. Yeah, archive is 17. So what I did, for those joining us later, I demonstrated a bunch of different letter folds because what I do every spring is any of the seniors who give me a graduation announcement, I give them a personal letter with a card that has a link to all the photos. Oh, this one doesn't show up so well. All the photos I've taken of them over the years. And then I always fold it fancy. And then this I just threw in for fun. This is a envelope I made, Japanese style envelope I made out of wrapping paper. Yeah, it was really the what was his name? Tito? I think it was Tito. General Tito was like the big strong man in Yugoslavia for a long time that kind of forced all that to work, and then just kept working till the communist thing went away. But yeah, curate was the word I was looking for earlier. Librarians always have to curate the library. Part of that is deciding what to get rid of, and you can't throw away books, but yeah, sometimes you kind of have to. Funny thing, totally at random. Hello, Mr. Gustafson, of the world famous Pierre Gustafson test. I've been wanting to try StreamYard. I see you do a lot with StreamYard, and I just I did that one stream with you, but I haven't been brave enough to try it myself. I may I've got time now other than working on yearbook and getting the garden going. Yeah, I can see that because Serbia was they were the ones that kind of wanted to take over after the separation. But anyway, what was I talking? Oh, StreamYard. I want to try that out, so may have to do another live stream soon. Just to experiment. Ooh, you all left Mr. Gustafson for this? Yeah, like I said, I just decided at random to do this. Walking home from school, like relax after the last day, or do a live stream. So here I am. I had something really intelligent to say about pens, but it totally slipped my brain. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about. But anyway, I oh, whoa, shoot, what was it? Slipped my brain again. I looked at the time and it reminded me what it was. I will think of it probably as soon as I hang up. But anyway, I'm glad you all showed up. I didn't. I thought of it again. Now I know why I'm thinking of it. I saw a 5 appear. Okay, so one exciting thing that's happened this past week or so, I was kind of edging up the upper 4,000s in numbers, and tipped over past 5,000 subscribers, tipped back, tipped forward, tipped back, and I seem to be on the safe side of 5,000 subscribers. Hey, Vix Clark, welcome from Wales. So I'm excited. I never thought I would get to 5,000 subscribers. I actually started this channel back in June of 2007, and for years I never got above like 100 or 200 subscribers, and then don't know, a few years ago, it just started to take off. Not super quickly. A lot of pen channels have grown a lot faster than I have, but I've had pretty slow, steady growth. And here I am at 5,000 subscribers. So, a while back, I talked about doing a giveaway, and then I talked myself out of it because I started researching the legal side of it. And, what really scared me was the idea of the Canadian Mounties coming across the border, arresting me, and taking me to one of their gulags in northern Saskatchewan, because that's what the Canadian Mounties do. They're nice and polite about it, but apparently there are some interesting laws on contests in Canada. But I think with the COVID restrictions on travel, I might be safe to do it right now. So it's not going to be the same pens, but I've got a few pens I thought maybe I would think up doing a giveaway. So I just have to figure out the logistics, how do I want to do it, and what pens, and how do I manage to not collect information I don't want, because I don't want to collect a bunch of addresses. So anyway, that's the plan. Oh yeah. Well, when I started doing this, so Friedrich is talking about when I very first started doing the pens, because before I did pens, I basically did travel videos around North Dakota mostly, and weirdly enough, a video from Watkins Glen, New York. But I had to delete a bunch of them because I didn't understand about copyrighted music back then. So, but then I started on the fountain pen thing. So what I started doing is I would talk into the iPad camera or the laptop camera, because I could use the laptop. And then when I did the writing sample, I would hold the iPad over the writing as I was doing it. And then one day I'm sitting there doing this, and it was partly influenced by what was his name? The guy from Washington that used to do pen reviews that quit doing them. Pen Habit? Something like that. Matt Armstrong, anyways, his real name. And there's a lot in North Dakota. Most of my driving videos are from North Dakota. There's more in this state than people expect. I could take you to a few forests, a place where they do whitewater rafting. Okay, the things they call mountains aren't really mountains, but we do have badlands. Anyway, so watching Matt Armstrong, I just realized that why does he have better quality video? Because he uses good equipment. Where do I get good equipment? Oh yeah, I already own it because I do a lot of sports photography and landscape photography. I still use it, a Canon 5D Mark II. So I started using that for all my filming. Now, I no longer use that for my filming. I use other things, which I'm going to do a video on that this summer also. But that Canon 5D has been with me for years. I still use it for a lot of photography. It's probably going to wear out one of these days, which will be a sad day. But anyway, that was a jump in quality. And then I don't know, I decided, okay, I don't want you to see how messy my living room is right now, but we'll just do a quick turn. See, I started filming in that archway. Yes, I need to hang up my coat instead of leave it on the couch. So hopefully nobody saw how messy it is. These last couple of weeks, I've just kind of been, the housekeeping will come. Hey, there's something I could do after I'm done filming. But anyway, it'll feel good to have the house clean. Yeah, it is too bad he doesn't do videos anymore. But anyway, so I would film my talking part there. I don't know why I had that idea, but that's what I used to do. And then I would sit at the couch and use the camera and do the writing sample. And then I used to sit further back, like right directly in front of that bookshelf there, and film. Then I went downstairs for a while and filmed in front of a green screen. The nicest part about that was having it downstairs and not in my living room. But I had different lights then that took up a lot more room. These lights are a lot skinnier. What I used to use were these, they were a big fluorescent soft box kind of thing. And, setting them up here, I couldn't even look out the front window. But now with these are skinny enough and much more portable and much easier to put away when I want to, because they don't fold. I don't have a fragile light bulb, and just better all around. But anyway, so I was happy in front of the green screen. It's just not a very natural environment, and I never really figured out how to use the green screen. And see, that was the thing. And so I took it down, and I don't remember. Okay, I've tried different viewpoints up here, but for some reason, I decided to start filming up here again. And then I bought this nice desk, which um folds out from the wall. Okay, if you're getting seasick, I'm sorry. But yeah, it folds out from the wall so I can put it away when I'm not using it. Although right now it's so covered with upcoming pen projects that, because again, busy couple of weeks with the end of school here. But anyway, I started filming up here and I like it. My microphone is just off screen. I feel more natural. In the winter, I am not flipping cold like I was in the, excuse me, in the basement. Uh, I have traded in my air conditioner. Well, the old one is on its way out. You saw it briefly when you saw my messy kitchen, but it's on its way out of the house. Now that school's out, I can take care of that part because somebody else is going to take it. And it's one of those portable air conditioners, and I bought one that's going to be a lot quieter that will sit right here because a house this small, you do not need central air. Although I do like the idea of a heat pump, especially if it's got geothermal and uses the ground source stuff. But okay, that's the nerd side of me coming out again. What's the channel? There's a channel I like that does technology connections. Who talks about? You know, he just did some videos on heat pumps. He's done some videos on air conditioning. You know, just really in-depth analysis of different kinds of technology, VCR, CD players. You know, beta versus VHS. If any of you are old enough to remember that conflict, you know, just a lot of fun. So yeah, I guess Matt Armstrong still goes to pen shows. He was a good guy. You know, he had kind of a rough start. I've been lucky. Occasionally, I'll get a comment or two that you're just like, really, but I guess he got it a lot worse than I ever did at the beginning, and it almost he was ready to give up. I think he gave up for better reasons, just because he decided to pursue other passions. I think he still writes with fountain pens and enjoys them, but I don't think he's actively buying them anymore. And yeah, he spent a lot more time than I do editing, and yeah, yeah, as you say, top notch equipment. I'm not top notch. I jumped up my game thanks to his influence, but I'm I'm happy with what I have. You know, for the live stream, he has way better equipment. I'm using what's actually a document camera, and I can flip it up and record my face also. Um, oh, yeah, exact. I did not know YouTube was something before it was YouTube, but yeah, you have to with those comments. You just can't be too sensitive. Um, what was his name? David Packman did a video just recently where he mentioned that he's been self censoring some of the stuff about there's been a rise in anti-Semitic hate crime just recently, and he's limited his coverage of it mainly because he didn't want to deal with the comments that he would get about it. Because of course David Packman is Jewish, if you didn't know. And but yeah, you have to blow it off. But that is interesting. I did not know it was called M Player. You know, I moved to this town in fall, well, I guess summer of 2006. And this town was the first place I ever lived where I got high speed internet. Where I was at before was a small town called Harvey, and I lived in a apartment there, but I never got high speed internet before I moved here. And I just decided I'm going to get high speed internet because this is stupid using dial up. It's 2006, and that's when I first discovered YouTube. I don't know when YouTube actually started because when you're using dial up, you do not stream videos. I used to like watching Battlestar Galactica, the new one, not the old one, and that was coming out back then. And I bought it through iTunes because back then that's how you did video. And I would download it. So if I downloaded it in the apartment, I'd basically let my computer go all night and I wouldn't have phone service the whole time. Or I guess since I don't work for them anymore, I could admit this. I would sneak over to the school, download it on the school computer, load it on a thumb drive, and bring it back home and watch it there. And so anyway, when I moved to this town, I just said, you know what? New town, new internet. I'm going high speed. So I had DSL, which was very nice. I could talk on the phone and be on the internet. Not that I'm on the phone very much because I didn't have a cell phone yet. And actually, it was in this town that I first noticed having to deal with cell phones with kids. I'd never dealt with that before. In fact, we were updating our student handbook this spring, and one of the things a couple of us remarked on, with the electronics section is not one of those things is something we worried about when we started teaching. We never worried about earbuds. We never worried about cell phones. We never worried about smartwatches. And so we were thinking, how would you have written that back then? We never would have thought to put that in your handbook. And so we sort of future-proofed ourselves by writing and other electronic devices, but we'll see. And anyway, so yeah, getting the high-speed internet opened up a world to me. And it was in June of 2007, I thought, I want to share this video footage because I actually that winter bought my very first digital camera. And then when I visited my parents, we went hiking in Watkins Glen, New York. And I took video footage and I thought, I want to share this with somebody because otherwise it's just me watching this. So I edited it together with the old iMovie. And my mistake was putting copyrighted music. And I don't remember the piece that I used, but it fit perfectly. It's just, it was classical music, but a copyrighted performance. And so as I got more I did Fort Knox in Maine. Yes, there's a Fort Knox in Maine. I did a tour of that. That's an old fort, pre-Civil War fort, actually, designed to protect the Penobscot River from British coastal incursions. And I used that doesn't matter. Anyway, old country piece on that, and so I had a few. I did Ekalaka and Medicine Rocks, had some music there. I visited both units of Teddy Roosevelt National Park, and one of them I used music, so I had to take that down. So anyway, I got smarter and it got rid of all those videos, not just hid them, got rid of them. Oh, I did a tour of the old Rames school, and then I had a whole bunch of theme songs from different school TV shows. But again, so yeah, I've learned a lot about YouTube actually over the years. I'm kind of babbling now, but I just learned a lot that I didn't know before about filming, about video, about lighting. I've gotten a lot smarter about lighting. Uh, if you were here earlier, I definitely filming white paper with this camera that has automatic exposure was not going so well, but we got that figured out thanks to Miss Marilyn Darling. So, but I see I've been going for an hour and a half, so I just want to thank everybody for joining. I didn't really think in the middle of the afternoon for me, because it's coming up on 3:30 now. I didn't really think anybody would join in, but we got up over 40 people for a while there. So thank you for joining in, and expect to hear more about. I want to do some kind of a drawing to mark this 5,000 subscriber thing, and yeah, thank you all for joining, and apologies to Mr. Gustafson if I stole his audience away. And it's summer, so we'll have to do this more often. So I want to thank you all for watching. ODE, it's 10:30 for ODE. A little past my bedtime, but I can still function then. So I want to thank you all for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Now, how do I end this? Okay, still going because I can't find the end button. Found it. Okay. Now I'm going to close off for real. Thank you, Vix Clark, for joining, an ODE and person with the Greek name that I can't pronounce.